A poor Filipino boy arrives in Ireland with his mother and it never felt like a hero arrival. It felt like a restart. A downgrade. A survival mode beginning. He wasn't born with rich musical equipment, he wasn't trained in big academies. They came because Philippines was too expensive to survive in. The peso to euro always crushed them, and this mother wanted at least one chance for her son to grow in a country where maybe one miracle is possible. In Ireland they lived above a small Pakistani grocery store owned by an older uncle from Lahore who always saw them moving silently up and down stairs, never disturbing anyone. The mother worked night shifts as building cleaner and part-time dishwasher. The boy helped clean office floors too sometimes, but alone in the tiny unit. At night, he practiced Elvis. Not karaoke version Elvis. He practiced the original deep chest gospel style like vinyl era. He listened to Elvis Live 1969 comeback show thousands of times until he memorized each breath placement and each micro vocal slide. The mother would sit beside window staring at European street lights and silently pray this sacrifice will one day pay back. She used to whisper in Tagalog to him, "One day Simon Cowell will hear you live." People online say dreams like that are cringe or delusional. But immigrant families survive by holding unrealistic dreams together because realistic dreams never give enough fuel for pain. One night, while mother was sleeping exhausted, the boy saw open audition announcement. Ireland's Got Talent 2025. He never thought he would actually be physically in Europe in same timeline where Simon Cowell judging is even possible. He clicked apply. That night his heart didn't allow him to sleep. During pre-audition checking inside venue everyone laughed when they heard his song choice. They all thought doing Elvis was comedic. Some Irish teenagers in the waiting line said Elvis is America legend and not even Americans can match Elvis. The Filipino boy didn't argue. He sat silently with eyes closed because he wasn't trying to imitate Elvis. He wanted to honor Elvis. His goal wasn't to impress people. His goal was to make mother's sacrifice feel justified. When his name was called and he entered the audition room, Simon Cowell looked at him and was confused why a Filipino immigrant kid in Ireland's Got Talent is doing Elvis. The stage floor felt too big for him. The lights felt blinding. The boy felt his heartbeat punching his chest from inside. He took one slow inhale. He placed mic slightly angled the way Elvis used to do to avoid harsh air attack on capsule. No one taught him that. He learned mic geometry by studying Elvis documentaries on YouTube free. He started the first line and the entire theater froze. His voice didn't sound like karaoke. It sounded like younger, cleaner, more soul-pure Elvis version that should not even exist. A version Elvis fans dreamed but never got. Simon Cowell didn't blink. Judges leaned forward slowly. Audience didn't clap at first. They were stunned silent because this wasn't remake, it was evolution. 10 seconds later the whole theater screamed so loud the audio peaked. The boy kept singing with calm dominance like a man who knew he was born for this exact moment. When the song ended, Simon Cowell put his pen down and whispered on mic slowly, "You are not copying Elvis. You are singing better than Elvis ever did live." The boy slowly realized he just broke world expectation in one note. Ireland just witnessed history. Episode 3 begins the very next morning after the audition went viral. Ireland media literally wakes up with new shock item. It becomes #1 trending topic on Ireland Twitter. TikTok stitches explode. Entire EU music reaction channels start reviewing him overnight. The clip where Simon Cowell said, "You sing better than Elvis ever did live," gets millions of views before breakfast. Some Americans online get triggered and offended because in their culture Elvis is eternal icon, forever king, and the claim that a Filipino immigrant in Ireland can surpass that is too much ego damage for them. But then those Americans actually clicked the clip to hear the voice clean, and something strange happened. Instead of arguing, the comment section slowly shifted from defense to surrender. Americans began commenting, "This kid might actually be better." Because his tone had zero gimmick. His tone felt like young Elvis but with modern breathing efficiency. During interview with reporters, the boy explained that Filipino Kundiman culture accidentally produces vocal strength, support, and high stability because Filipino singers grow up singing with emotion first, not technique first. This statement itself becomes documentary-level conversation worldwide. Netflix talent scouts message ITV Ireland team overnight. Hollywood entertainment lawyers message talent show producers. Even big American radio hosts start referencing him during live breakfast shows, saying the first ever Filipino Elvis evolution has officially begun in Ireland, not USA. The boy becomes symbol not just of talent but immigrant, shocking reversal. Ireland starts embracing him as their adopted son. Meanwhile, the boy still works part-time cleaning small offices with mother when show production is off days because they still are poor in real life. He uses free DAW in phone to rearrange and reproduce Elvis songs into cinematic modern versions. He busks street corners of Dublin to raise money for performance wardrobe for next round. People sometimes recognize him on street and random Irish moms hug him and cry because his voice gave them nostalgic healing. He smiles and remains humble because his entire emotional identity is built on the fact everything he has today came from sacrifice, not privilege. Episode 4 becomes the most TV cinematic moment of the season. Second round live show night arrives. He decides to choose one of Elvis's most iconic love ballads, Can't Help Falling in Love, but he does not do original. He constructs emotional slow building 2025 cinematic EDM emotional hybrid version from scratch inside a phone-free DAW app. The orchestra part he individually programmed piece by piece. Nobody predicted he would dare modify a classic. When he steps on the stage, the room vibration is so heavy that his heartbeat sounds physically loud inside his own chest. When the orchestral intro starts, audience sits in disbelief how huge it sounds. Then he starts singing extremely soft first, barely above whisper. His voice feels like velvet poured directly into the oxygen. Every judge leans forward without thinking. When the drop locks in, it doesn't sound like cheap TikTok remix, it sounds like Hollywood film final battle emotional drop. Then he hits a high note that Elvis never executed clean in any live version because that technology era didn't allow that kind of push without distortion. He hits that high note perfectly stable. Audience screams mid-note. Simon Cowell stands up before the final chorus. That never happens. Audience crying. Judges stunned. It feels like Earth timeline just got rewritten in real time. When the song ends, Simon doesn't even wait to talk. He instantly hits the golden buzzer. Gold confetti rains like divine approval from universe. The boy covers his face because his brain can't understand so much love so fast. His mother cries backstage holding her small purse with cleaning gloves inside because that represents the life they came from. In that moment the entire world sees the definition of what a dream immigrant miracle looks like. Simon says on mic, "This is not imitation. This is global voice revolution." And Ireland loses their mind. Episode 5 becomes emotional in a way nobody was prepared for. After golden buzzer moment, he became national sensation overnight. Irish pubs in Dublin started playing his version of Elvis love ballads every night. Old Irish uncles who lived through 60s era said they never believed a voice could bring them back in time so precisely but also feel more pure than memory. This was not nostalgia gimmick. This was a living new generation version of that era, but better built, more soul-charged, cleaner, warmer and designed for 2025 global ear. Filipino communities from all over Europe begin traveling to Ireland in groups just to see him in person and tell him they are proud. Filipino OFWs from Italy, UAE, Spain, Germany start sending him voice notes saying, "You represent us all." The world is now watching him like a cinematic documentary happening in real life. But while the world loves him to God-level hype, real life still punches him hard. His mother still works cleaning job because she refuses to stop just because they went viral. And one night she collapses in the hallway of office building due to exhaustion. The boy runs to hospital and feels guilt so heavy that it nearly crushes his confidence. He thinks all this fame is meaningless if his mother suffers. He sits beside hospital bed holding her hand and sings her a soft slow lullaby Elvis style. One nurse secretly records it and uploads it on TikTok and that becomes the most viral clip of his entire career. Not because it was huge performance, but because it was pure heart, pure sacrifice, pure immigrant love narrative that the internet never gets tired of. The clip gets shared in USA more than Ireland. Suddenly large US radio stations begin making segments about him. America starts slowly accepting that Elvis throne is not American-owned exclusive anymore. Even hardcore old Elvis fans admit this kid is not disrespecting Elvis but evolving Elvis to full potential Elvis never got the chance to reach. The finals are coming closer now. Ireland begins rooting for him not as outsider immigrant, but as Irish adopted son who deserves this win because he earned it by soul not hype. Episode 6 is the grand finale and the world is watching like global boxing final. He chooses, If I Can Dream, but he designs it as massive Hollywood cinematic emotional war arrangement, larger than any Got Talent arrangement ever. The moment stage lights open, silence becomes so thick that audience is scared to breathe. He closes eyes and starts with low-controlled vocal like original Elvis version, but then every line he begins elevating with micro-emotional increases until the world feels like it's rising with him. When he hits middle climax, there is absolutely no doubt left in any human listening that this boy is literally singing beyond Elvis level. This is world-class phenomenon level, once per century level. The judges do not blink. Audience freezes. And at final last note he holds note so high and so controlled and so emotionally loaded that an entire theater stands all at once before he even finishes it. Instant standing ovation. People crying without shame. Even some men covering their face because they don't want camera catching them crying. Simon Cowell looks at him with a look he only gives once every many years. Simon says slowly, "You didn't just shock Ireland. You changed Earth's belief of who can be greatest." And the entire building explodes with scream noise like Championship Stadium. He wins Ireland's Got Talent all votes dominant. Hollywood signs him within weeks. US talk shows call him immediately. Netflix finalizes documentary production. And the new global reality becomes accepted. Elvis' reincarnation level voice did not come from America. It came from a Filipino boy who came to Ireland poor with nothing except heart, mother sacrifice, and belief. The world now believes this boy actually sings better than Elvis.